Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of Red Sox Now, presented by Fan Arch right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Talk about your Sox as they embark on a long homestand here in Boston. This is what we love for a team that has, of course, been up and down, right around 500, one game under. So we want to hear your thoughts as always, and make sure to follow me on all of my social media channels at the Radio Mike. And what a series to start. This is the big rivalry week in Major League Baseball. I'm just looking at the schedule right now. Of course, you have Mets and Yankees. The Red Sox Braves, I think, is obviously because they were the Boston, but that is kind of a weird rivalry. The other ones make a lot of sense, right? Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Philly, Washington, Baltimore, Tigers, Toronto, Rays, Marlins makes sense. Cardinals, Royals, Astros, Rangers. Twins, Brewers, Athletics, Giants, Angels, Dodgers. It's pretty remarkable that almost everyone has someone that you can line up that makes sense. Yeah, I guess, it doesn't make a lot of sense, Red Sox Braves, but so what? The matchup is insane tonight. Garrett Crochet at 4-2 with a 1.93 ERA. You can make a case, Cy Young candidate. And Chris Sale's going to bring it. Record's not great, 64 strikeouts though, 1-3. In a respectable 3.97 ERA as those two lock up tonight. Can't wait for that. So that is the matchup right out of the gate. And I've talked about this a lot. The great thing about having a guy like Garrett Crochet is he can certainly stop a losing streak. Boy, that road trip, though, began with those well-played games. And watch my episode yesterday. I still am going to harp on this. It's situational when it comes to the Red Sox. I see all these tweets about they're not good in one-run games. That's true, but you have to arrive there. You can't just say those things. Oh, they don't know how to play. Well, they do. But they're pitching, again, I'll go over this again, 13th out of 15th in the American League in runners in scoring position. They're pitching, batting average against, and with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, 13th. If you missed the show yesterday. Their pitchers, with runners in scoring position, 2 outs, the opposition has a batting average of 265. That is insane. So I am repeating some stuff. And I had context to it. So you're saying, okay, well, what does that mean? What does that compare to the best team in the American League? Okay, the Tigers pitchers, number 1 in batting average against, under 200, 199. Third in batting average against with runners in scoring position, 2 outs. That's a considerable difference. You're still third in the American League in runs scored, 6th in Major League Baseball, but you lead in strikeouts. That hurts you in certain situations. They're right in the middle of the pack, hitting with runners in scoring position. The pitching and situational, if it doesn't get better, it's not going to matter if Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer are in the big leagues. It won't. It won't matter what your lineup looks like. If you cannot pitch in situations, it won't matter. And, we've seen some of the best offenses on the planet get shut down. All right? So this is interesting. So now I would love to screen grab a lot of this. Now, when I go on social media, all I am seeing now is that Duran needs to go. All of a sudden, all of you have shifts from he's a super utility guy, Rafaela, but now that he's had a good month, and I told you this the first episode, this guy has potential to be a star. And I know a lot of people laughed at me, which is, I don't care. But it's so funny to see all you bandwagons now out there, and I know who you are, because a lot of you follow this. And I this morning, as I'm recording this, there's a ton of Duran, and it's to get Anthony in the big leagues. I've been saying that. A lot of people have been saying that for years. I do like Duran a lot. But Anthony and Meyer don't fit. You can't put Christian Campbell at first base. Horrible idea. Anyone that says that is crazy. Are you kidding me? You're going to put a guy at first base his rookie year, who was an A-ball last year, who's still learning how to play second, you're going to put him over at first? Come on. It's nonsense. You're not going to add 2 more left-handed hitters to a lineup that's already left-handed hitting. So Duran has made sense the entire time. If there's a few paths for Roman Anthony. It's Devers at first, but I don't know if I want to take Duran out. I know he's struggling right now, but he's still a dynamic player. But it's just so interesting now that how everyone is now on the Rafaela bandwagon. It's incredible. I wouldn't, you have to be careful here to make drastic moves like that. But I do think at some point getting uncomfortable if you traded one of the prospects to me, I still think they're going to be superstars, but it's okay. They could be a superstar on another team, and you could still win. It can happen. It happens all the time. Superstars get traded. Yordan Alvarez, O'Neal Cruz. Those guys were traded from the Dodgers. They've been okay. You can do it. Teams have done it. They have. But, again, Rafaela's doing great, but let's just stay here right now. Let's not go, we're all over the map with guys now. We didn't want this guy on the roster last month, and now we want Duran off the roster because he had a bad road trip. All right, this is important, okay? You have 10 straight games at home. And man, oh man, what is going on with Baltimore? I mean, if you're, you can say what you want about the Red Sox, but you talk about underachieving. I don't know what is going on with them. I mean, they really didn't do much. The Burns trade made no sense to me. I just assumed when they traded for him, they were going to sign him. But that made no sense. Made no sense. You had the Braves, the Mets, and Baltimore. I still don't care what Baltimore's record is. They still have a good lineup. They still have a lot of good young players. This is huge. 10 straight. 7-3, 6-4, 5-5 is not acceptable. Dave O'Brien talked a lot about this schedule. Going back to Royals, Tigers, then you get Braves, Mets, Baltimore, and then you go to the Brewers, who just fired a lot of people, at the Braves, Angels, Yankees, Rays, Yankees, Mariners. Just looking ahead, Giants. There's a lot of good teams that you're going to play, but let's just start right now. You got to win a lot of series. You got to start playing better at home. But, is 45 games in time to panic? No. But after 10 games, it's 55 games in, and we're getting close to that halfway point. But we've seen them struggle at home, but this is a must, this 10-game homestand. Let me know what your thoughts. I still don't love this. I know they don't have a lot of options. I don't love having two lefties batting back-to-back because I think more teams – we have to understand something right now, too. Other teams also have analytics, and they also game plan for you. There's some things that I see the Red Sox do that think that, well, we have this data. Well, so do other teams. They do, too. And when I saw the Tigers throw an opener at you the other night, I'm like, this is going to happen a lot. I mean – and I don't love it. I don't love it, but I don't think you have any options. I think the biggest thing, and I talked about this on previous shows, I think a right-handed bat is what the Red Sox need more than Anthony and Meyer. So that you can go Duran, Bregman, Devers. If you had like a legit right-handed bat, and it's going to be hard to get. This is what I mean if you had to get uncomfortable. If you had to bring someone in maybe at a low risk, but, if thinking of someone to bat fourth in this lineup, who could that be? Let me know who you think. But that, to me, would be better if you could go, and hear me out, Duran, Bregman, Devers, acquisition, Abreu, Campbell, and then the rest of the lineup. Because I think it's tough to ask Campbell to back cleanup. Story just isn't the guy right now. But I think they're a right-handed bat short. All right, we'll be off for the weekend. So we want, as always, for your suggestions, comments, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media at the Radio Mike. Great series coming up. Let's see the Red Sox. I still love this club. I still think there's a ton of talent. I still love their pitching. And I think if that gets cleaned up, they've lost 8 games of their 23 when they've scored 4 more runs. If they just won 3 of those, they'd be 25-22, right? 25-20. Things are different, right? So just the situational stuff needs to be cleaned up. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching Red Sox Now, presented by FanArch here on YouTube.